So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. In this episode, we're gonna unbox the red Galaxy S23 Ultra. The wait is over. We finally have it on hand. You can see Galaxy S23 Ultra, and you can see on the front the colors. Here are the custom colors. I went with this color right here. Now the stock colors that you're going to find in your local store is going to be green, cream, lavender, and phantom black. Now I've had phantom black already. I've had a green already. So I'm going with something a little bit different today. So let's go ahead and cut this open. Let's go ahead and take a look at the top content. So you're going to see it says this package contains a Galaxy S23 Ultra, an S Pen, a SIM ejection tool, a USB-C to USB-C cable, and a quick start guide. Notice it doesn't say charger, and notice it doesn't, it has a thinner box than ever before. Samsung used to give these bigger boxes, but these days they're much thinner as we are trying to slim down, things and stuff. Even inside the box, it looks super thin. I mean, look at that. So you can see it says Samsung right here, and Samsung usually puts like their stuff like in the top part of the box. Sometimes I can't find it because it's up there, but you'll see in here you'll have this card that'll show you that will house these things right here. So the quick start guide, boring, I'll read that later. I'm doing number 2, don't tell nobody. Right here you can see I do have USB-C to USB-C right there, and a SIM ejection tool. Apple, yeah, look it, we still have a SIM card. None of that eSIM stuff. Now, I know eSIM is pretty awesome for some people, but for a lot of people, it's super annoying to have to change things up when you just want to swap phones around. So let's go ahead, or have to contact your carrier. So let's go ahead and open this up. And you can see Samsung's letting you know we do have a premium phone on board. We've got to cover it up nicely. And you could see here is the custom red. Now, first of all, I don't know if this is truly red, but it looks kind of red in certain angles, looks a little coral in certain angles, looks a little bit orange in others. I'm kind of digging it though, just because it's a different look from all the standard colors out there. So let's go ahead and peel this off. Wait, one more time. Oof, man. You only get that one time, do you? And let's go ahead and boot this thing up and take a look. Now, I can tell you right away, it feels a lot like the S22 Ultra, but that's not a bad thing. It feels a little bit more durable though, a little bit stronger feeling. I don't know how to describe it, just a little more squared. You can see at the bottom, we do have ourselves the S Pen in the body right there. Little click action. Not a big difference from the other S Pens. So if you do get these custom colors, the frame is black here. On this one, I think the blue one is kind of like, has like a silver frame. So it depends on the color options, but red and black. But I wish this was a little darker red. This is really kind of coralish looking. So I don't know if I made the right decision on the color, but whatever. You can see right there, we do have nice camera bumps right there. We'll talk more about the specifications of those in the upcoming review. See up here at the top, no IR blasters, nothing like that. Overall, I mean, taking a look at this next to the S22 Ultra, just a little bit more durable feeling, a little bit more squared, but not a major difference. So they basically kept the same phone around. So let me set this up and I'll be right back and we'll talk more about this device. Okay guys, so we're now in the Galaxy S23 Ultra and let's talk a little bit about what to expect here with this phone. Now, gestures aren't enabled by default, but you'll see you are going to get One UI 5.1, Android 13 right out of the gate. Now, this phone does have a 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display. That's the same as the one on the S22 Ultra. This has a QHD Plus edge screen, so it is curved a little bit, but what they did was they flattened the curve more. So now this phone actually feels closer to a flat screen phone, but still giving you a slight curve to let you know it's still a Galaxy, S23 Ultra. So if they went fully flat, I think that would be awesome too, but they still want to keep their curve around a little bit for now. Now, if we go into settings here and we scroll up to display, you can see right here, this is going to give you 3088 by 1440p, so a super sharp panel, and I'm going to put it there. This also is a 120 hertz refresh, adaptive refresh display. In addition, it has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which is the same as the one found in the Galaxy S22 Ultra. So I'm going to be taking a look at that as we go. And if you pre-order this now, you are going to get 512 gigs for the same price as a 256 gig. So that's a pretty good deal considering other manufacturers will charge you several hundred more for that extra storage. Now, to get the 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is going to be the better performer like this one, you're going to have to go to this 512 or 1 terabyte of storage, which is the max storage. Now, the big deal here is the camera system. So we do have a 200 megapixel camera now versus the 100, I think it was 8 last year camera. So this is going to allow you to have a lot sharper images to post on a wall or anything like that if you want to go ahead and do that. This also does have 100 times space zoom, which I don't know if you're going to be zooming to space, but if you are, you're going to like that. So let's take a couple of photos here really quickly. We are on air right now. And man, does this camera look freaking amazing. So right out the gate, I could tell you these results are, oh my, look at the saturation. Look at the sharpness. Apple, you better look out, boy. We have a competitor in town, the Galaxy S23 Ultra. I'm super excited to take this thing out later. Let's go ahead and put this right here. Snap a photo. Sounds like a DSLR. Bam. And then you can see right here, if you go to settings, there's going to be a bunch of settings that you're used to. And then if we go over here, take a look at this right here, 200 megapixels. How many cameras out there have 200 megapixels? I don't know, but your phone can now have that. And look at this ridiculous zoom. I love this, man, because this phone is giving you features that will make you never need to really use your camera. You got expert raw, pro video, night modes, food modes, and stay tuned because I'm going to cover this in detail in my full review. In addition, I'm going to compare this to the Google Pixel 7 Pro as well as the iPhone 14 Pro Max and maybe even the S22 Ultra if you want to see that one. Also on board is a in-display fingerprint sensor that's ultrasonic. So what you get is a little bit better security than an optical based version. Now, let me tell you something else. Right out of the gate with the S22 Ultra, I was annoyed that the performance was a little choppy. But I can tell you, I've already played with these in Best Buy, and now that I got my own, I could tell you it's looking solid. Thank you, Samsung, for fixing that. That was super annoying last year to buy a phone at this price point and have some delay. Also, with the new custom Qualcomm chipset in here, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, designed for the Galaxy, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a lot cooler to the touch. It should be able to hold its performance a lot better over that time. Let's take a look at the front-facing camera as well while we're in here. Okay, let's back it out. And they gave me a little kind of like a little thing that said you can change your tones and the face smoothness and stuff like that. You can fix it how you want. Color tones, natural, warm. Pretty cool. I mean, we have a lot of options here, and Samsung actually left the camera market to focus on, you know, smartphone cameras, and it's starting to pay off now because now, you know, this might just be the full replacement for a camera. We'll have to see. I always say that, but it's getting to the point where I've even tried some of the highest end Sony cameras, and I'm like, do I really even need that? Like, so we're going to be really diving into this. This is what's really important here. If you take a look, they do stick off the body a little bit, but nothing like the iPhone 14 Pro Max's cameras. So pretty cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at the wallpapers before we wrap this video up. And we're going to go to change wallpapers. Here is the included ones here. You've probably seen these in the marketing materials already, but you have some video ones, some home and lock screen. So you always get a set of exclusive wallpapers. And then you have right here, that's pretty good. Also, before we head up out of here, let's go ahead and take a look at the storage. And I know you're probably annoyed by me pressing those buttons, but I assure you in the next video, I will have gestures enabled. It's just, we just started. This is how it comes out of the box. You'll go here to device care, you'll see storage, and then it says that we have 58 gigs used. So this one UI does take up some space. So it's not technically 512, but it's a ton. Although no expandable memory, that would have made this the ultimate phone. Thank you, Sony, for giving us expandable memory on the Xperia line, but this one, not anymore. But still, at least you're getting a huge upgrade in storage for the same price if you pre-order. Go ahead and just take a look at how this thing does look compared to some of the older phones out there. So Galaxy S22 Ultra, last year's phone. So essentially, it looks pretty much identical. However, it feels a little bit more rugged. I don't know how to describe it. It just feels a little bit more solid in the hand, slightly. And it doesn't feel as curvy on the back or the front. It feels a little more flat and bulky. That's kind of how it feels. This has a little bit more curve action. It feels on the rear and the front. So if you like a phone that feels a little bit more curved, you'll like the S22 Ultra. If you like a more squared phone, you'll like the S23 Ultra. Let's take a look at it next to the Google Pixel 7 Pro, which I think is the best value phone on the market. You can see pretty similar sizes, although the Pixel feels a little bit thinner, kind of feels a little bit more manageable in terms of lightness. So S23 Ultra feels a little heavier than this phone. But overall, both are big phones and both are going to be fantastic performers day to day. And then let's look at its arch rival, the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Give me a second here. Let me take it out of its case. You'll see iPhone 14 Pro Max, probably one of the biggest comparisons we're going to do here. We'll also compare the S23 Ultra to the iPhone 15 Ultra if it comes, or 15 Pro Max, whatever Apple launches. By the way, happy Valentine's Day. We got the Valentine's Day color right here, but you can see both of these are thick boys. Both of them are bulky, you know, in terms of they're not small phones, and they're both strong, feeling good phones. So definitely these are very competitive here, S23 Ultra and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So this will have 5G performance, the latest connectivities as well. So that's awesome. So yeah, there's not much more else to say. That's my first impressions. I got to tell you, I'm kind of digging this custom colorway. I know it's not the reddest red out there, but it's still unique compared to the other colors. So I'm going to stick with it. I will be covering this against multiple phones on the channel, as well as giving you guys more in-depth reviews that you probably have seen on the planet yet. So stay tuned for that. I'll catch you on the next one, and let me know if you picked up the S23 Ultra, you plan on picking one up, and what you want to see going forward. I'll catch you on the next one. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.